Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Pirates, and Pittsburgh Penguins. And like I've been saying for the past week or so now, we are live with the breaking news that we have been waiting for. It is official, ladies and gentlemen. The Pittsburgh Penguins have a new boss behind the bench. They have hired Dan Muse as their new head coach. Muse, trying to find it here, he will be the 23rd head coach in Pittsburgh Penguins history. There was news that came down roughly about 10 minutes ago, I think. Now, let me get the exact timing here. The post 10 minutes ago from... Or no, that wasn't the one. It's 26 minutes ago, from Elliot Friedman, the Adam Schefter of the NHL world, saying that word today is that momentum was growing for Dan Muse to become the next head coach in Pittsburgh Penguins. For the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Pens made it official 11 minutes ago with a tweet. Their official release right here from their website. The Pittsburgh Penguins have named Dan Muse the 23rd head coach in franchise history. It was announced today by President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Kyle Dubas. A quote here from Dubas: "During this process, we met with many candidates." Of course, many of those candidates, Mitch Love, the assistant coach for the Washington Capitals, who was thought to be the favorite for the Penguins job. Also talking about DJ Smith, former Ottawa Senators head coach and current, I believe, Tampa Bay Lightning's assistant coach, also former Edmonton Oilers head coach Jay Woodcroft, but it is none of those three candidates. During this process, we met with many candidates who we felt would have been a nice fit as the head coach of the Penguins, but ultimately, Dan Muse stood out as the best choice. What separated Dan was his ability to develop players, win at all levels where he has been a head coach, and his consistent success coaching special teams in the NHL, said Dubas. From this process in developing college and junior players to his impactful work with veteran players during his time in the NHL, Dan has shown a proven ability to connect with players at all stages of their careers and help them to reach their potential. Additionally, his leadership of special teams units at the NHL level in both Nashville and New York produced elite results consistently. His overall body of work, attention to detail, and vision for our group showed us that he is the best coach to take our team forward. We're excited to welcome Dan and his family to the city of Pittsburgh. So that there was the press release from Penguins general manager and president of hockey ops, Kyle Dubas. Just some more here on the Penguins official press release. Muse ran Nashville's penalty killing unit, which ranked 4th overall in the NHL over his 2 full seasons with the club in 2017 and 2019. Through 2019, he assumed the same role with the New York Rangers from 2013 to 2015, helping the Rangers penalty kill to be the 4th highest PK success rate and 2nd best net penalty killing percentage in that span. He is a native from Canton, Massachusetts, so not Canton, Ohio, where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is. Muse, he is 42 years old. He has 20 years of coaching experience, including 5 years in the NHL as an assistant coach with the Rangers and the Predators, like what I just mentioned. Muse helped guide his teams to 3 divisional titles, Nashville in 2017-2018 and 2018 through 2019. Also, New York 2 years ago in the 2013 to 2024 season. He has 2 President trophies during his 5 seasons in the NHL, best record by teams in the NHL with Nashville and New York. Muse began his coaching career at the collegiate level, primarily spending 6 years with Yale University as an assistant coach, starting in 2019, running through 2014. Was an associate head coach in 2015, and he helped the Yale Bulldogs to a national championship in 2013. Prior to Yale, he spent 1 season at Sacred Heart University and Williams College. So Dan Muse also has substantial experience in the USA Hockey Development Program, serving as head coach for the national team development program from 2020 to 2023. Muse served as head coach for the under-18 team in 2020 and 2021 and 2022 through 2023, leading the squad to the gold medal at the 2013 under U18 World Championship. Set a single-season national team development program record with 16 wins over NCAA opponents during the regular season. So, like Kyle Dubas said, we are getting a guy who is multifaceted. He has won at different levels, the collegiate level with the USA National Development Program, and also in the NHL as an assistant coach. Most recently, an assistant coach with the New York Rangers. So before I go any further here, welcome into the stream. Breaking news. Penguins hire Dan Muse as their head coach. A bit of a shock, and one that not many people, if any people, were talking about. You were talking about Mitch Love, Jay Woodcroft, DJ Smith as possibly the new head coach of the Penguins, but Dan Muse here, Kyle Dubas, very impressed with his resume with the U.S. national team in college and with the New York Rangers and Nashville Predators as an assistant coach. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Again, we are here with breaking news, talking about the hiring of Dan Muse, looking here at what else I am seeing here. Like I said, Muse, 42, so a younger guy, and this, I believe, is his first time head coaching in the NHL, so he checks off the boxes that Kyle Dubas said he wanted. When Kyle Dubas had his press conference after letting go of Mike Sullivan, or I guess you want to say mutual parting of ways, even though we kind of figured that, it was you're not firing me, I'm quitting sort of scenario. But Kyle Dubas said that he wanted a younger coach, not a retread, so that eliminated your Joel Quenneville's, your John Tortorella's of the world at the very beginning of this process. He's one of the younger coaches, 42 years old. Also, Dubas said he wanted a guy probably going to be a first-time head coach. He said he was going to look to the college ranks for a head coach. He's getting a guy with college experience and success in college coaching at that. Also very experienced, 20 years of coaching experience, 42 years old. So must have, as soon as he was done playing college hockey, if he did so, got right into coaching. Also looking here, Dubas said that he wanted a guy to develop young players. Obviously, Dan Muse, a developmental guy with the National Development Program, having them win gold with his time as head coach there. Let me go here. This is actually Dan Muse's USA Hockey profile. U18 coach. Dan Muse served as the U.S. under-18 men's national team head coach for the second time at the 2023 IIHF under-18 men's world's championship. Okay, so this is his profile from 2023. So yeah, Dan Muse, the head coach of the Penguins, spent the last 2 seasons as an assistant coach with the New York Rangers. So he gets to come to Pittsburgh. He and Mike Sullivan swap spots. The only difference, Sully being a head coach there in New York, and Dan Muse, he gets a promotion. He gets to be the head coach here in Pittsburgh. Reading here, David Paganotta, another NHL insider, retweeting what Kyle Dubas said about the head coach. So let me scroll here through Twitter, see if we got anything else. It is everywhere, every single tweet being the exact same thing pretty much. Andrew Filipponi from 93.7 The Fan. The Penguins have hired the love child of Joe Block and Chris Muller. Oh, that is hilarious. Yes, Dan Muse. The NHL making it official, posting it there. So, as what we are looking at, 10 of you in here right now. Welcome to the stream. Breaking news. The Penguins hiring Dan Muse as their head coach. That news broke roughly about 20 minutes ago to this point. Instant reactions. I want to see those in the comments section. You can comment them right here if you would like. What are your instant thoughts and reactions to Dan Muse, a guy who we did not talk about much as a candidate for the Penguins head coaching gig, but he is looks like he checks all the boxes for what exactly Kyle Dubas was looking for. I guess they did say that he is a special teams coach. I would have hoped if it was going to be a special teams coach that it would have been a power play guy. Sort of, I'm more worried about the Penguins power play than I am the penalty kill. But hey, if he gets to make a strong unit for the Penguins, their PK stronger, more power to him. Also, the only downside I see of this hire is that he is coming from I know the Rangers PK was good, but the Rangers coming off one of their worst seasons in recent memory, where they were pretty much uncompetitive for most of the year, just like the Penguins, and their team showed little fight throughout the year, little I guess you would push back to adversity. So what you would say there. So Dan Muse, the head coach of the Penguins here. A lot of good out of this hire, I believe. Also some bad, like what I just said there. 42-year-old, not recycled, player development, and a special teams guy. All boxes that Kyle Dubas wanted to check there. Everybody looking like everybody on Twitter. I said this right before I go live. He kind of looks like Joe Block. Also, you throw a pair of glasses on that guy, I think he could have a tiny bit of resemblance, not a whole lot, to Pierre Maguire. So, looking here, Dan Muse, everybody saying, talking about his substantial experience with the USA Development Program. When he was head coach for Team USA, their U18 team from 2020 to 2023, he not only got the gold medal, guess who the captain of that team was? Rutger McGroarty. So Dan Muse gets to coach his former U18 captain now with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That is a very interesting tidbit there. Rutger McGroarty and Dan Muse reuniting here in Pittsburgh. The quote from Kyle Dubas that is also everywhere. Everybody saying he looks like Chris Moeller from 93.7 The Fan. Seeing some other news here. Going to be a fun stream later tonight with this now. So the Penguins, they have a new head coach. Just scrolling here, looking to see what else is going on. Let me do some more. See if there's anything else. Let's go to Hockey DB. Check out what Dan Muse has. So Dan Muse, 5'10", 42 years old. Coaching started at Williams College in 07 through 08 as an assistant. 08-09 season, 2008 through 2010, he was at Sacred Heart. From 2010 to 2015, he was with Yale University, all of these as an assistant coach, except for the 2014-2015 season, where he was the associate head coach, in which they lost in the second round. He then was with the Chicago Steel. I believe that is another that's a AHL team, or not sure what league that is, the USHL. So it is the United States Hockey League. From 2015 through 2017, he was head coach of the Chicago Steel. They were out of the playoffs year one of his head coach tenure there. And then they won the championship the final year of his stay as head coach. Chicago Steel, 2016, 2017, 60 games, went 38-17-0, 5 OT losses. Or no ties, 5 OT losses. Nice there. Predators. Head coach from 2017, or Predators assistant coach from 2017 through 2020. And then that is 2020 when he went to coach the U.S. National Development Program. There's a break here in his hockey DB page. Picked up as the Rangers assistant coach from 2013 to 2015. So I like the hire. Interested to hear what you guys say. Let's go to the comments now. Jonathan Harvey. So Dan Muse becomes the guy. Wish him success and longevity as head coach. I do too. And, you know, as a guy here who, a Penguins fan, I'd like to trust Kyle Dubas's process of tearing this thing down a little bit. Maybe you ship off an Erik Karlsson, try to get a Tristan Jarry or Ryan Graves, hopefully both out of here this offseason. Trust in the process. He's brought in a lot of good so far. Rutger McGroarty, Ville Koivunen, and two prospects who were up at the end of the last season in the NHL. They showed a lot of promise. Also, some other guys like Tristan Brose is down there. Some news on another Penguin, Vasily Ponomarev. I think he's going back over to Russia. He signed in the in the KHL, so we'll see how that goes. But Dan Muse, he is a guy that we didn't talk about. It was all talk about Mitch Love, DJ Smith, Jay Woodcroft, guys like that. And then, in comes Dan Muse here from the top rope, entrance number 30 in the Royal Rumble. And like I said, he is a guy who checks all the boxes for this team. Guy who is a special teams guy, young developmental coach with the USHL, also former college coach. And he is not a retread of what we see in the league today. He's not one of these coaches who's been a little bit of everywhere now and tends to only stay there for 2 to 3 years, if that. Everybody a little bit shocked there. Oh, we got another one here. Dan Muse, bald fellow. Somebody says we hired Chad Ruedel. That's quite funny there on Twitter. But yeah, back to the comments here. Peace and Wealth Seeker, welcome. Just got the notification on the Pens app. We are so back, baby. I like it. Also, just mentioned, I saw on Twitter, Rutger McGroarty was the another guy on the team of that championship gold 2023 USHL development program team that he had coached. So he gets to coach his captain of that team. Let me go here. US. Let's go here. 2023 US National Development Team for hockey. I want to find out who all he coached here. So I believe this is the team that won the gold here. Let me go here. No, this is 2014, 2015. I'm trying to find 2023 here. All right, hang on. Let's find this out here. Why is this so hard to find here? Here we go. So look here at the roster for the 2022-2023 U.S. National Development Team. This is the team that I believe won the gold with him. So just looking here, where's Rutger? We have Rutger McGroarty in here. Nothing. Why the heck is this so hard to find here? Let's go back to the comments in the meantime here. Matthew McDermott, welcome. This guy is a total joke placeholder until we compete again. He will be an easy to axe after a couple of years, at which point we will look for our real head coach. That's an interesting take. I mean, could he just be a guy to develop the guys? Maybe, but Kyle Dubas, he also was adamant that, hey, we're going to bring in this guy who can grow with the players here. It's not going to be, I don't think this is going to be a guy who after McGroarty and Koivunen, they're now easy top 6 forwards on any team in the league. We're going to get rid of this guy now and bring in another retread or something. No, I think Kyle Dubas made this. Each and every place this guy has gone, he's climbed up the ranks. And once he reaches the top rank, he's shown a track record of winning. Started out, like I said, as an assistant coach throughout college from 2007 to 2014. Was an associate coach head coach in 2014-2015 season. In college, the USHL team, this is the USHL with the Chicago Steel. Missed playoffs his first year as head coach, and then next year he won a championship. And hey, if he does that with the Penguins, I'm quite cool with it. I think Kyle Dubas at this point, which is why I think you saw the departure of Mike Sullivan, Kyle Dubas, in his mind, thinks that this is going to be another year where the Penguins don't make the playoffs, but they bring along good young assets, and then they take a run at it 2 years from now. If you follow Dan Muse's career, of coaching here as a head coach, at least with the Chicago Steel and the USHL, and then with the U.S. National Development Team, maybe year 1 or 2, he, either missed playoffs or got knocked out of them. But then come year 2 or 3, he makes the championship and he wins it. So I'm quite cool with it, honestly. If, this guy develops along here for a year or 2, get some more seasoning on these guys, and then they take a run at it in the final year, 2 years with Sidney Crosby. So don't think he's going to be, like you said, getting axed very easily, or he's a joke. That's your opinion, and hey, I respect it. Not everybody's going to be all gung ho about this hire. I'm still learning about it. This is a guy that we didn't talk much about on this channel. It was all about Mitch Love for the most part. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's not get too high or too low on this hire immediately. All I'm saying is that for what Kyle Dubas and for what the Penguins were looking for, he definitely fits the bill. A young guy, not a retread, plays special teams coach, and he can develop players. Let me go back here, try to find this roster again. Go here. So, like I said, Dan Muse leading the team to the national, or the gold medal with the U.S. National Development Program. Let's go here. So they did win the championship. The U18 team, I think, is what he was. Where can I find the roster? It's not what I want. This has become way harder. All I wanted to see was what guys he developed here to give him a better track record of who all he coached. Here, let's go here. Maybe this one will give me at least somewhat of a list here. So, roster overview here of the 2023 U.S. Men's national team. It's not the U18 team, though. No, it's not the U18 team. Oh, well, I'll find this later. Might talk about it on the live stream later tonight. Maybe, finally. There we go. All right, so let's look here at some guys. He coached Cole Hudson. That's a familiar name that Coach Dan Muse has. Let's go here for forwards first. So Will Smith, solid young guy. The I guess you would say the partner in crime with Macklin Celebrini out in San Jose. Got Gabe Perreault, who's a current prospector. He might be up with the NHL team with the Rangers. Ryan Leonard with the Washington Capitals. Hey, where's Rutger? I don't see Rutger here. Probably he added him late. So there is Dan Muse as the head coach. There's some other guys. I've seen too many names here as his assistants here, so I don't know all about them. See here, so he's coached guys Cole Hudson, Zeev Boyum with the Minnesota Wild. Solid young defenseman there who played for them in the playoffs, I believe. Will Smith, Gabe Perreault, Ryan Leonard, Carter Slaggert, James Higgins, who's going to be a high draft pick in this year's draft, and Cole Eiserman. So he's got some nice guys developed there with the USA development program. Ryan Leonard, he's going to be a force with the Capitals. James Higgins, like I said, he is going to be first round pick this year. Zeev Boyum looks like he and Brock Faber could be a hell of a duo for years to come with the Minnesota Wild. Cole Hudson, nice defenseman there from BU. So yeah, some great teams he's coached there at the USA Development Program. And like I said, everywhere he's gone as the head coach, at least, maybe year 1, year 2 was his sort of transition year. And then he then will win afterwards. Don't judge him off this first year. I think even Kyle Dubas recognizes that it might be another tough year for the Pens. Then they might go at it 2 years from now. Back to the comment section real quick. Freight Train, welcome back. I'm here, but driving, love the hire. I do too. It's not one that a lot of people expected, but hey, that's okay. He looks like he fits all the boxes for what Kyle Dubas and everyone else was looking for. And also, I will say here, happy Stanley Cup final to everyone. The finals begin tonight, and the Penguins, I kind of figured they were going to get it in before the offseason officially hit. So they get it. They steal some headlines here for when the Stanley Cup finals are about to begin here. Looking here, I'm just seeing a bunch of everything here today. Seeing a bunch of Beanie Bishop. If you're a Steelers fan and you happen to be here as well, You kind of know why he is in the headlines here today. 11 of you in here right now. If you are new, please subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it very much if you do so. We are up to 393 subscribers. I cannot see exactly who subscribed to the channel, but I appreciate the 3 of you who did. We are now 7 away from 400. Let's try to get there as soon as possible. I appreciate it. Trying to find more here on Dan Muse. David Pagnotta with another coaching hire going on in the NHL. Yogi Svejkovsky. That Svejkovsky last name sounds familiar to Penguins fans a little bit. I believe there was a Lucas Svejkovsky who was a prospect for the Pens not too long ago. But anyway, Yogi Svejkovsky, who was an assistant coach in Vancouver, will be joining Rick Tocchet in Philly. So Tocchet gets to build his coaching staff in Philly. Look at little brother trying to get a minor move in to try to steal some of the Penguins' shine here today. Dan Kingerski, another local insider writer for the Penguins, says he is speaking with people close to Dan Muse. He will have more here soon on the hire. This is indeed Josh Getzoff confirming, like what we've been talking about here. This is his first NHL head coaching gig. And more here trying to find anything else. Pittsburgh Clothing Company. Let me share my screen. This is good. No hair, no problem seems to be the name of the game here. Let me pop this up here. This is just too good not to have. Here, hang on. It's coming. Oh, how about that right there? No hair, no problem. If you're a Pittsburgh sports coach, there is your new head coaching trio in Pittsburgh, ladies and gentlemen. Don Kelly, Mike Tomlin, or Mike from left to right here. Mike Tomlin, Don Kelly with the Bucks, and now Dan Muse. No hair, no problem. That is golden. Let's go back here, try to find if there's anything else anybody's posting here. Rob Rossi, he is calling this a little bit Penguins writer for a long time, said that he wouldn't roll out a candidate that wasn't on the radar of the media for the Penguins new head coach, and he was right. Says it's a bold move as well. I do think it's a bold move. Like I said, Mitch Love, he was a top candidate. I honestly was expecting it after seeing that post. I believe it was Pierre LeBrun who said that the Boston Bruins, they were down to their final 2 candidates and that the Penguins were down to theirs. I thought they both were fighting for Mitch Love. Could they have both been fighting for Dan Muse? I don't know. And we may never know. But Dan Muse is the hire here. Joe Brand, Penguins radio announcer, posting 4 minutes ago what I found online. Throughout his years with the USA National Development Program, he coached the likes of McGroarty, who he said, Ryan Leonard, Will Smith, defenseman Zeev Buium, also Luke Hughes. He coached there. I didn't look at the teams before 2023, the team that he won the gold with. So wonder who else he's coached here. Gold medal in 2023. Trying to find what else. Silver medal in 2022. And then it doesn't show anything for 2021 or 2020. So he has a silver medal and a gold medal to his credit. Let's go here, try to find something else. So there's the 2023 where he won the gold. We went through that roster. Is there a roster here? Yeah, Ryan Leonard, Trey Augustine, the goalie. We all knew about that. Let's go back here. Anything notable happen in 2022 when they won the silver? Here we go. The 2022 roster. See if there's any other new guys here. Hunter Berzustowicz. I can't pronounce that last name, but I know he's with the Calgary Flames, I believe. There's Lane Hudson to go along with Cole. Isaac Howard, who's been in the news recently, was a prospect with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I think the Lightning are shopping him. The Penguins have been linked as maybe a, team where he could go. I wouldn't doubt that now, honestly. That might increase the Isaac Howard rumors to the Penguins. You got now your former national team development program head coach and also Rutger McGroarty, who is with the team. I would not doubt that at all. Also, Cruz Lucius. Cruz Lucius is he a Penguins product, or was that the brother who had to retire? Am I blanking on that? Cruz is the Penguins guy, right? Yeah, Penguins own his rights. So yeah, there's another Penguin prospect, Cruz Lucius, who I think was still in college. He was on the 2022 national development team with Dan Muse as head coach. Jimmy Snuggerud of the St. Louis Blues is there. There's McGroarty. Frank Nazar with the Blackhawks is there. Logan Cooley, Pittsburgh native. I'm sure he'll text his old head coach, talk about what he can expect in Pittsburgh. Cutter Gauthier, Ryan Leonard, Will Smith. There we go. Some solid names there on the 2022 U.S. under 18 national development team. We go here now to the 2021 team. Let's check out what the 2021 team has. Lane Hudson still there. Jack Hughes with the 2021 U18 team. Dan Muse, so had Jack Hughes as well. Sasha Pastujov, McGroarty again. Isaac Howard again, Logan Cooley again. Nice, and then they still have him listed as the head coach for the 2020 team. Let's go just all through all four possibly of his teams that he coached with the USA. I know that one was canceled because of COVID. Duh. So he's coached some nice guys that are all either on the cusp of breaking out in the NHL or have already done a great number, put up great numbers in the league. Back to the comments. Joseph Brinton, welcome, Joseph. Can't believe we hired some minor league coach. I didn't work out with Mike Johnston. Won't work with this guy. Well, I think we all might have a little bit of Mike Johnson PTSD. Like, that guy was just completely and totally bad, and you put him in a situation, a minor league guy who was given a Maserati roster. The team won the cup that year after he got fired. You had Crosby, Malkin, Kessel. I think he was the exception and not the status quo for how bad Mike Johnston was. This is a team that he will have a little bit of familiarity with, coaching Rutger McGroarty before. And also this team, it's not going to have the pressure of, competing for a cup like that team back in 2015 had with Mike Johnston. This is going to be Dan Muse coming into a completely and totally different situation. And, hopefully, I think it'll be a very low bar to clear being better with Mike Johnston. Just let's pump the brakes here before we call it a completely and total bad hire. Because I don't think it is, honestly. Tomlin, Kelly, and Muse all bald. Hashtag noticing. Oh my goodness, everybody's not going to let this down. Let's go here. See what else is going on. Jesse Marshall. Pumped to see Dan Muse get to work. Going to go back and watch his systems at the U.S. National Team Development Program. Try to put something together. That's good. Hopefully we get to see more there. And like I said, everybody's saying the same things I am here. Younger guy, proven track record of developing, had success at multiple levels of hockey from college to the new U.S. development program to an assistant coach in the NHL. Now there it is. There's the Wolf of Wall Street pointing meme. Joe Block pointing at the Penguins hire. What, they hired me? I wonder if he's on tonight for the Pirates broadcast, if he'll make a comment of that. I mean, after all, Sportsnet Pittsburgh, they do share streaming rights with the Penguins. Maybe they point that out, have a side-by-side. So that is very interesting there. So he wins with the Chicago Steel. Does Dan Muse in the 2016-2017 season. Goes to be an assistant in the NHL for 3 years with the Predators. Had a hell of a PK there. Then joins the U.S. National Team Development Program. Wins a silver and a gold medal in 3 years there. And then he goes and he has a solid power play with the New York Rangers. And now he is the head coach of your Pittsburgh Penguins. Looking else here, not seeing trying to find what else is going on here. All right, so I'm not going to find anything else right now on this, but that, like I said, is the news that we have all been waiting for. So let me check one more time, go through online here, see if there's anything else. USA Hockey. Never mind, that was from 2023 there. Also, let's just go back here to, who Dan Muse might have learned other in the NHL. I think that's pretty relevant too. Of course, you had Peter Laviolette in Nashville. I'm not sure if Laviolette departed before, I believe it was John Hines became the head coach in Nashville. If not, he learned under him too. And then past couple of years here in the NHL with the Rangers, he was under Laviolette again, so I think he has that familiarity there. Looking what else is going on here. Back to the comments section real quick. Two more here from Joseph Britton. This guy doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. A scratch 3 division player. Well, I mean, does a player have to be good playing hockey, when he was younger for him to be a good coach in the NHL? I don't necessarily think so. So let's see here. Let me check this real quick. We have gotten one more subscriber, so we're up to 394 now. I appreciate to you who subscribed. Thank you for joining me. The breaking news this afternoon: the Penguins have hired Dan Muse as their head coach. And that will be a big talking point for the rest of the day. That I don't think I'm going to find anything too new in the immediate here. That's nice there. Steelers full preseason schedule with training camp in Latrobe right there. So definitely talk about that later. 10 of you in here one more time. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this stream and comment, just like Joseph, Matthew, Freight Train, Peace and Wealth Seeker, Jonathan Harvey, all of you who have done so thus far. I appreciate it very, very much. 87 and 71 will tune this guy out from day one. Why do you think that? I mean, I know they're veterans and they've had a lot of success in this league, but I think they might actually, if anything, be rejuvenated from getting to hear a new voice. Back to Mickey Obed here. Welcome, Mickey. How do you think we will do with this dude? Well, if we follow the track record of what he's done as a head coach in the college and the USA national team development program, I think Kyle Dubas and Dan Muse are of the same philosophy. Well, first off, Kyle Dubas, this is 100% what he was looking for in a hire. A younger guy, not a retread who's been around the block a time or two in the league, who has a track record of developing players and having success at multiple levels of hockey. And, you know, where I say him and Kyle Dubas are of the same mindset here is that Dubas getting rid of Mike Sullivan, possibly selling off Erik Karlsson this offseason, that is Dubas. You know, even though he said that this team, they're shifting their rebuild more towards an asset, you know, collection phase, not necessarily selling guys off. I think he still thinks that we're a year away from getting back into true contending status. And what I mean by contending status is not just getting into the playoffs and getting knocked out in the first, maybe second round if you're lucky. He's talking about going all the way, competing for the Stanley Cup in the final, you know, year or so of Crosby and Malkin and Letang's careers. So following this guy's track record, looking at his hockey DB page, everywhere he's gone as a head coach, it was an assistant for the most part, but everywhere he's gone as a head coach, maybe year one or two, hasn't, you know, won anything. But once you hit year two, year three, he's won a championship in the USHL with the Chicago Steel, his second year as head coach there. And then as 3 years as head coach of the USA national development team, the U18 team. Did not see that he won anything year one. Then year two, won a silver medal. Year three, won the gold medal. So I will take it. If we're following the process here of Kyle Dubas, where the Penguins, they maybe take another year. They probably improve, I will say, unless you want to, you know, tank all the way out and get Gavin McKenna, which, hey, I'd be quite cool with. You're not going to hear me complain about bringing in another generational type player. Have another Lemieux to Crosby sort of scenario there, but with Crosby to McKenna, I'd be cool with that. But hey, year one here, he's coming in little expectations. His main goal right now to develop guys like Ville Koivunen, Rucker McGroarty. If you see other guys like Harrison Brunick maybe come up, Sergei Murashov, the goaltender, Tristan Brose, other guys that the Penguins might bring in if they haven't done so already. We'll just wait and see. After that, year two, year three, that's when we can expect more. So let's keep an open mind here about this hire and see where things go from there. Glad you joined in, Mickey. Hope you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We are at 394, now up to 397 subscribers. I thank you. Let's actually I'm going to stay on a little bit longer here. Maybe we can hit 400 here before I log off for the evening. If not, we'll try to do so later tonight. I will be live again for a more, covering the Steelers and Penguins and Pirates as well. So a more all around live stream like what I normally do. We'll talk about the Steelers some later. Also talk about the Pirates, who play again tonight after an absolutely pitiful game played last night. Back to Mickey in the comment, McGroarty can thrive under him, maybe. McGroarty was his captain when they won the gold medal with the U.S. development team. So he's coached McGroarty before. Also coached Cruz Lucius, who's a prospect in the Penn system. We all see there. Thomas Dowdy, welcome, Thomas. Do you think he had any responsibility in the drop-off from the Rangers' play this past year? From what I read in the Penguins press release, he was running the penalty kill unit for the Rangers, and they were a top 5 unit in the NHL. So him as running the PK unit, I think that was one of the better, brighter spots on the Rangers team last year. I think what you saw from the Rangers was that they were showing no effort there. They had, Laviolette as their head coach. I think his voice grew stale in that room. Also, I think their problems were more on the power play than anything. So the opposite end of his line of work there. I'm sure, everybody's got a little bit of a responsibility when a team that has high expectations like the Rangers did last year fall off that bad. I'm sure he had some responsibility. But as much as I think people are maybe crediting him and disparaging him for in this hire, I think we can, take it easy on that front a little bit. So thank you, Thomas, for joining in here. Subscribe to the channel. I actually got a notification from YouTube itself. Got to look at some of the new subscribers. Ashton Grusovsky, welcome, Ashton. Thank you for subscribing. Thomas, you just commented. Thank you for subscribing. Also, Ryan Cunningham. Thank you, Ryan, if you are in here as well. Thomas Dowdy, I was awesome. I wasn't really following him as being this high on the list, and now as our head coach, time to research. Thanks for the answer. Thank you for asking the question there, Thomas. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks. Going back to the first part there, I wasn't really following him as being this high on the list. I don't think anybody was following him. Like I said, for the past week now, when reports were, Mitch Love is having another in-person interview with the Pens, and now the Pens, they're probably down to their final 2 candidates. I thought it was, a race between Mitch Love and DJ Smith. Maybe there was a little, chance of Jay Woodcroft being the Penguins head coach. But then Kyle Dubas, he goes off the radar. But it's a guy who fits the mold of exactly what he was looking for in the new head coach for the Penguins. Looking here, seeing what else there might be out there on Twitter. Not seeing much else here. The Dan Muse hype on Twitter might be trailing off here a little bit. Interesting. I was reading something there back to the football. Beanie Bishop, he is in the headlines today for what he did at the joint facility shared by the Steelers and the University of Pittsburgh. More on that for the live stream later tonight. Also had another interesting quote. About one Aaron Rodgers. Or maybe it was Aaron Rodgers having a quote about Beanie Bishop. We will bring that up later. Oh, there's the Office meme. Jay Woodcroft, Mitch Love, and DJ Smith with Dan Muse coming up, sneaking up behind him. The memes, they are great right now. Oh, they hired Joe Block. They hired Chad Ruel. That is hilarious. Look and see what else is here. Not much. Let's go back to here, see if we have anything else. 17 of you in here right now. Welcome to the stream, where we are talking about breaking news. The Penguins hiring Dan Muse as their head coach. We've now been on here for just about an hour now talking about the new Penguins hire. Also trying to reach 400 subscribers. We are at 399 subscribers. Thank you to the two of you who just subscribed. We started this stream at 390. We gained 9 subscribers, one away from 400. If you are new here and you like what you are seeing and hearing on this live stream right now, please get that subscription in. I would appreciate it very, very much. Back to the comment section. Ted Miller looks like he is going to be in the Matthew McDermott, Joseph Brinton group. WTF. His instant reaction to this hire of Dan Muse. Again, going over Dan Muse's, what happened to his hockey DM page? Hockey DB. There it is. Dan Muse's hockey DB profile. Went to Stonehill College for 4 years. That was his playing career. Born in Canton, Massachusetts. 42 years old. A July 21 birthday. So his birthday going to be coming up here in a month and change. He'll be 43 when he officially will run his first team activity with the Penguins. Another positive thing, we talked about Rucker McGroarty being on the USA national development team when Dan Muse was head coach. I think the organization views McGroarty, who was a former first-round pick when he came out of the development team. I think they view him as possibly the next big top forward for them. So this will, I think, do very well for his development. I'm sure Dan Muse will trust to go to him in high leverage situations. So there's a picture I'm seeing of him on the bench in Nashville with Peter Laviolette as head coach there. Let me go here. I went through the for the National Development Program roster. We do this. Let's go over his roster of who all he coached. Did he coach Philip Tomasino as well? Going through here, the Nashville Predators roster from the years he was an assistant coach in the NHL. So he started in 2016, 2017. Or no, that was with the Chicago Steels. It was 2017, 2018 he started. My bad there. Let's go here. The Nashville Predators 2017, 2018 roster. So coached former Penguin Nick Bonino there. Trying to see if there are any current or former Penguins he's coached. Frederick Gaudreau. Trying to see what else. Okay, so no one really notable there that he coached aside from a couple of former Penguins. I want to say, did he ever coach Philip Tomasino, or was Tomasino not there by the time he left Nashville? It's Bonino again now in the 2018-2019 season, his second year as an assistant coach with the Predators. Another former Penguin there, Brian Boyle, he's coached. Freddie Gaudreau again. Mikhail Granlund, another former Penguin. One-time Penguin, Rem Pitlick there. And I think that is it. 2019 to 2020, his final year with the Predators. He coached Bonino again. Kyle Granlund again. And I think that is it. So we'll have to wait and see be interested to see what former Predators and New York Rangers players he may bring along in free agency, or he'll lure to the Penguins in free agency. And then let's go here, just check on the Rangers real quick. It's in 2023, 2024. He started there under Peter Laviolette again. So there's Bonino again for a hot minute. Former Penguin Louis Domingue. I think Connor Mackey there, he had in the USA development program. Chad Ruedel there. Pittsburgh native Vincent Trocheck, and so on and so forth. So did not coach Philip Tomasino like I thought he had the possibility of doing. Now I think at Tomasino, he's still pretty young, so it was probably during his time at the US NTDP is when he had that. And let me do a quick subscriber check, and we did it. Thank you, folks. 401 subscriber. So one of those new subscribers, Gary Bird. Thank you for subscribing, and to the other beautiful soul that subscribed as well. I want to thank you all very much. Flacco in the comments. Welcome, Flacco. Congrats. Thank you very, very much, Flacco. Trusty as ever, Freight Train. I'm not sure if he's still in here, Flacco. You can chat it up with him as well. And looking what else is going on here. See if there's anything else on this new hired. Jason Mackey. Believe Dan Muse is the first coach, manager of the Steelers, Penguins, or Pirates whose last name doubles as a small suburban town. So there's that. Yeah, very vital info, very critical info there. Somebody posting retweeting a comment here. I wonder if this is from someone who worked with Dan Muse before. He is hard-nosed with an old-school work ethic combined with new school intelligence and progressive thinking and use of analytics. So he is Dan Muse. He seems to be a guy of who can coach multiple ways, multiple traits. He can adapt to his players, coach them in whatever way he seems fit, apparently. Let's see what else is going on here. This picture of Dan Muse with the Chicago Steel. Their first time I'm seeing that picture in the championship trophy. Oh, there's another Penguin as well. This interesting here from Nick Hart. So we talked about Rutger McGroarty being Dan Muse's captain for the 2022 U.S. National Development Team when they won either silver or gold. I forget which year McGroarty was captain. When Muse won the USHL championship with the Chicago Steel in 2017. This guy has been with the Wilkes-Barre Penguins for the most part, but he's had a cup of coffee or two at the NHL level. Mark Johnstone was Muse's captain for the Steel. So another current Penguin was the captain for Muse at prior stops. That's cool. I think I see the NHL scouting combine could be coming here soon, and there is a picture memorializing Ray Shero up at the scouting combine. That's cool. Let's see what else is going on. Anything else here? No, back to the comments section real quick. That's right. Welcome. That's right. Rangers went from winning the President's Cup to missing the playoffs, and you hire their assistant. Again, I just went over that. That's right. I had someone, Thomas Dowdy, right there, ask the same thing. Does he have a little bit of responsibility? Sure. Everybody from the freaking general manager to the players on the ice to the, janitor who scrubs the locker room floor every night. Everybody in their own little way has a responsibility for what the Rangers, for how the Rangers did last year. However, we went over this guy's resume. He was mainly running the penalty kill for the Rangers, and that was a top 5 unit in the league. And I think if you look at what went wrong with the Rangers last year, what he was doing, what his responsibilities were pretty far from the number one reason why the Rangers sucked. I honestly think the Rangers, they may need to worry about worrying if Mike Sullivan and his system of playing will still combat with what they have, be compatible with what they have up there, rather than worry about Dan Muse getting hired by the Penguins, honestly. But I do thank you there for commenting. That's right. I appreciate it. Never heard of him, but hey, hope he does us proud. Yeah. Pittsburgh, all of a sudden, they love their bald sports coaches. Mike Tomlin, Donnie Kelly, and Dan Muse. Come on down. Also, did they bring Dan Potash from the pre- and post-game show? Now they put him back in a rinkside reporter role so he can interview the coach and bring back Dan Potash and Dan Muse. Bring back the Dan and Dan show. Instead of Bilesma, it's now Muse. Back to that's right. I think Mitch Love just wasn't interested in the job here. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. I do think honestly, I would have done a deeper dive into Mitch Love had he been hired here. I didn't know much about him. All I knew is that he was the Capitals assistant coach, and that made him a good candidate for not only how the Capitals did this year, but also because he was an assistant for one of the fastest rising coaches in the game, in Spencer Carberry. But Dan Muse, he does have a good track record, and now he gets to come to the Penguins instead of Mitch Love. And I think Mitch Love, sure, there's a chance that he might not have been interested. Honestly, that's another thing what people were talking about when the Bruins said, hey, they're down to their final 2 coaching candidates, and the Penguins were as well. I thought they were bidding for Mitch Love, and if you had to pick between Penguins and Boston right now, I think Boston, they're still going to, in some ways, try to compete next year and make the playoffs, while the Penguins, they are going to take an extra year and then contend again. So we'll see. Thank you for commenting. That's right. This was definitely the Pens' 3rd or 4th choice. I don't know that. I mean, judging by what Kyle Dubas said he wanted in the next head coach and what Dan Muse has shown in his track record, we don't know that. The Possibility he could have been the third or fourth choice. Possibility he could have been the first or second. I don't know. We are not in Kyle Dubas's head there, but had to be high up on the board, in my opinion, just going off of what Dubas said when Sullivan left and what we got now in this head coach. And now seeing, is there anything else here on Dan Muse? BruinsInsider.com saying Boston misses out on another head coach as Dan Muse. So if if Bruins Insider there is saying Boston missed out, who knows if Dan Muse was the guy that the Bruins and Penguins were competing over. Maybe instead of being the fallback option for the Pens, he was the main guy and Mitch Love was the backup. Does this say anything? And just like that, EliteProspects.com, they immediately have Dan Muse listed as the Penguins head coach. Some other titles he had. He was a video coach for the USA under-20 team in 2012 to 2013. Was the video coach again for them the following year, the 2013-2014 season. Head coach for the USA National Development Team. That was the World Junior Championships in 2013 and 2014. He was the video coach for Team USA. Was the head coach for the U17 USA team in the international tournament in 2021-2022. So he's had multiple roles from a video coach to assistant coach, associate head coach, and head coach. Guy who has worn many hats in his career. Back to the comment section real quick. Sixberg, welcome Sixberg. Hope you and Nat's right to newer guys in the comments section. Subscribe to the channel. Also Sixberg. Love the profile pic there. Think I can see that clearly there. Mac Miller. Everything I've seen is he's very defensive minded, which was the main problem this year with leaving goalies out to dry. I don't see how much changes though when you still have all the same guys there. Well, we're still at the beginning of the offseason here. Well, first off, your first half of that comment, absolutely 100% true. Couldn't have said it better myself. So he's a guy who focuses on the PK, in turn also focuses on the defensive aspect more so than the offensive aspect of the team. I think he will have this team playing better in front of their goaltenders. And even though Tristan Jarry and Alex Nedeljkovic, for the most part last year, were hot garbage, still, though, the defense did not give them any help. That's 100% true. However, don't seeing much change, though, when you still have the same guys there. Again, still the beginning of the offseason. We still got the draft, free agency, and everything else that comes throughout the summer here. Like I've said it a couple times on the stream here so far, you could see an Erik Karlsson go out the door. Maybe you ship off a draft pick to get Tristan Jarry or Ryan Graves' contracts off the books. I think you'll see a reshuffling of the bottom six of the forward group as well. Maybe you see older guys like a Kevin Hayes and Noel Acciari get phased out for younger guys. Like, I would be cool. I liked watching this guy play last year. I'd be cool if the Pens went out and they got another one or two Blake Lizotte type players for the bottom six. Guys who can go out there, they can produce, and they can also be defensively reliable. Be cool with that. Also trying to think else. And also, you got to take into effect their Sixberg. Keep in mind that this team, they're still probably going to be a developing team this year. Maybe make the playoffs if they're lucky, but more likely than not won't. you'll see a lot of younger guys up there that Dan Muse can shape in the way that he wants to and have them play the way he wants defensively right off the bat instead of trying to, teach a whole new thing to a dog that already learned their tricks with the current roster at hand. So we'll see how everything goes here. Trying to see what else we have here on Dan. So highlights, got 2 gold medals or 2 medals. Can I click on the highlights here? No. 1 USHL trophy, 1 World Junior Championship trophy with the U20 team, and 1 gold medal with the World Junior Championship U18 team. And a Canton guy. So you're replacing a Boston guy, a Mass guy with another Mass guy here. He also that keeps alive the stereotype that Fenway Sports Group, who owns the Penguins, they like their Massachusetts, Boston area people. So we should have had that in consideration when looking at the head coaching candidates. Just, hey, is the dude from Boston area? If so, he's going to be high up on the list. Which I think Mitch Love, wasn't he a Canadian guy? I forget. I want to say he had some sort of link to Kyle Dubas, or maybe I'm thinking of DJ Smith. I don't know. All right, I do not see anything else going on so far else related to this hiring. So I think I'm going to call this breaking news emergency stream. Going to bring it to an end here. I want to thank you all for joining me here on this afternoon, reacting and talking about the hiring of Dan Muse as the new head coach for your Pittsburgh Penguins. I like the hire. Some of you like it. Some of you love it. Some of you don't like it or are impartial to it. That's all right. That's what we're here to do. We react, and we will see how this hire plays out here over this offseason and the years to come. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining me here today. Join me back here tonight somewhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. I will be live again for a normal weekday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we'll talk about the Steelers and Pirates as well. In conjunction here with the Penguins, we'll talk about everything going on with those two teams as well. For the last time, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like, share, and comment on this video after the fact. With that, thank you all for joining me here this afternoon. See you back here in about 3-4 hours, and I'll see you then. Thanks for joining me. Dan Muse, the new head coach of your Pittsburgh Penguins. Peace. Flacco, peace out. See you guys later tonight.